Test or test. Let's get it, guys. Welcome to Trading with OC at Piper Academy. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic, phenomenal day. Yesterday, I had to pay taxes and things were not playing out with me. So I needed to take the time to do my financial responsibilities, right? But, well, thanks God everything played out. And, well, that is what you get when you do, what is it? How the Piper mentioned? Poor planning equals peace performance. Piece poor performance, right? So yeah, I guess living things at the last minute never plays out very, very nicely. But other than that, well, I'm safe to say that I safely did it on the deadline. Safely, just like we would be saying here in Mexico, just like what is it, like warm bread right out of the oven. So other than that, guys, thank you so much for joining. We got you right here. We have Trading Tuition, first one in the class. What's up, my friend? Welcome. You have the #1 batch there. Love it. Okay, DGT, how's it going, my friend? Welcome. We also have Alexander. Yeah, I know, Trading Tuition. We also have Alexandra G. What's up, Alexandra? Welcome. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your time here. Really appreciate it. We also have double shout out to KDGT. What is up? So let's get it. Let's go over a couple of stuff because we have had 2 stopped out so far. And well, we also got some of our shorts playing out very, very nicely, especially those shorts. They just keep on giving. Nonetheless, I should be, or you guys also should be, if you're following the trades that we do here at Trade Setups, we should be on a 25% still available in those shorts. So not that much, but that is the way that we trail our gains, right? So we use TP #1, TP #2, and then trailing if you still have enough to trail it. If not, you just do TP #1, TP #2, and well, then the rest is just profits. So Doom, how's it going? Welcome. So let's get it. Let's go to the charts and let's see what's going on. And first, Solana, I'm watching you. You're just talking too much to Ethereum. Hashtag F Ethereum. If you know, you know. All right, so Solana, come on, bro. I'm looking at you. Let's get it. Let's go to the charts. Yo, let's go. All right, so there it is. This Solana. We were looking for the short on Solana. Perfect. That played out very, very nicely right in here. And then coming back down, we were looking at the short at the dynamic reactor on its way up. So bouncing back up, right? So what happened here? We have 3 weeks, 3 time on gains. And then just like that, it went down right to the stop loss. So now that we are seeing this, let's just get this out of the way. This trade is still open. So let's keep it in here. And well, let's do something else in here because look at that. Our alerts show a Solana at 176. All right. So let's check that out in here because we had an open order. Well, not an open order, an active alert right around that area. And if I'm not mistaken, should be somewhere around here. Let me double click it and let's do 176.81. Let's click OK, and there it is. All right, so we have a possible entry here. Let's call that let me just finish out the analysis and let's see if we're going to be calling that out, because I was to call that out, but also remember that we can go for a sweep of the lows in here as we go lower. So let me just go over, I mean, of course this is for me. Let me go over the actual end of the analysis and let's figure out if we should or should not be trading Solana today. Oh, sorry, I'm just reaching out for my, oh, come on. Oh, my cords because my phone is dying. Sorry for that. You just had to see me making those faces. All right, so let's get it. Let's see what's going on here. All right, perfect. So right here, let me get started first with what is obvious. Let's just get rid of this thing here. The next thing that we're looking into is this huge, of course, arrow that is pointing at one of my favorite indicators in here, which it is the one that I use for my falling knife strategy. If you haven't watched that video, I highly recommend that you do watch it. It's pretty good, and I show you how I do those falling knife strategies. By the way, not really encouraging you to do falling knife, but when the opportunity is there and you want to grab it, well, then that's how you can do it. All right, so far we have a strong support here, not only because we have this indicator right down here, but also we have several other things. So let's go one by one. First, let's check out our support and resistances. Supports are all the way down to 173. All right, so they're still a little bit down below here. And that's why I am a little bit afraid that we could be having a sweep of those lows. So something like that, right? So having an entry right now, that would mean that our stop loss should be fairly low right down here. And I'm talking about the 4 hours. All right. So far, so good. That's what we got. Now, what else do we have? This huge, ginormous box. What is that box? That is a liquidity zone. One of my favorite indicators on the chart prime setup. 1 second here. I need to set up a couple of stuff. 1 second. All right, test. All right, I think we got it ready. All right, so just a couple of entangled cables in here. Sorry, I just need to do that. My eye was just like, like looking at those entangled cables, and it was just killing me. All right, other than that, that's what I got at that zone. Let's go for the next one, and those are my predictive ranges. Looking at our predictive ranges, and it's time for us to zoom out a little bit in here. All right, it is telling us that we still have a lot between those two predictive ranges, but there is one in here which is our blue line. We already have taken that blue line right there, so we could still go through it. All right, so remember that the blue line, once we pierce it once, we tend to go and hit it twice, right? So it's one of those things that happens as you are trading with your predictive ranges. All right, so far so good. What else do we have somewhere around those areas? Another set of predictive ranges, but most importantly, an area of smart money. So let me just push it over here and look at how big of a volume we have in here. All right, so I mean, I want you to admire what a big study this is. All right, I mean, this is a spike of volume, of course, and that volume indicates where is, well, of course, that volume allocation, right? But what is very interesting is look at how low that volume is moving, all right, or that disparity. That means that is low discussion on where that money should be injected to. So, I mean, either we all are getting together too long or short at the same time, or there is a big institution aiming at that zone. And I think the second one might be it. All right, there is something that we also need to understand under this example. It is that this volume allocation, it is collective throughout time, which means what happened here, what happened here, what happened here, what happened here, and what happened here. All right, so it's not just the right away volume, but it works sort of like VRVP or VPVR throughout the time, the amount of candles that you set it to calculate. All right, so far we have that cumulative volume acting upon that area, and since it had played out throughout the time, that's what I'm aiming at, that same zone. There is a more interesting zone in there, actually something that I really want to show you, which is the right away zone right down there, which is this one here. All right, let me zoom out in here. Let's aim at that area. In this zone, it has way less disparity. All right, remember sorry about that. All right, so remember the right of your volume or your VRVP from chart prime inside of the market dynamics pro. Here it is. It is your raw volume, right? Just like your VRVP, VPVR, or whatever you want to call it, your VRVP. Here it is, all right? Same thing at this one. In fact, if you just give it enough definition, quote unquote, or enough, you just make those bars small enough, you'll see that we're gonna be starting having the same amount of peaks at the same zone, depending on how far back we go. Because look at that, as we move to the right or to the left, your VRVP is gonna change and update depending on your first candle and last candle. Other than, and this is what I like about it, it is that your Market Dynamics Pro VRVP, it works with a set of candle size. So let's go, for example, where is our VRVP? Let me go for it. Here it is. All right, so volume profile level, there is 60 bars divided in the whole price action, and your profile length, it is right now 1,000. All right, so regardless, once we have a new candle, well, the whole thing is gonna move to the right one candle, leaving out older volume and just fixing that in that area. All right, if that makes sense. Just so you can see what I'm talking about in here, let me just double click here and let's go and show or turn on, where is it, in balance volume? No, where are you? Here is it. Profile background. So this background is going to be showing me how far back it goes. So as you can see, it's grabbing all of the volume from this candle all the way to the current candle, right? So I can change, for example, instead of 1,000, I can do, I don't know, just for example, 200. Let's just click here, click away, wait for that little eye to start moving, and here is your VRVP based on that 200 candles. Of course, at the levels changes, all right? So I like to have it at 1,000 here. It gives me a way better setup, and then just by preference, I just change this profile based on what I like, all right? So let's just do a cancel here. Let's go for that. Let's double click once again just to make sure that my configuration it is set. There it is. And finally, this is what I want to show you. So looking at in retrospective, remember, we're looking at 1,000 candles back, all right, with this indicator, which means that right here, I mean, look at how much volume. This is, I would say, the second or third biggest area of volume in this zone, because if we go for actually the largest volume area, it's all the way right down there where our VRVP is at. But so far, we are still very far away from that 151. So we're going to be ignoring that just for now. All right. Okay. So having said that, well, zooming in here, this area right here, the 2,969,525, or 2 billion, sorry, 2,900,600,525,509 dollars of volume. All right, look at that. Look at what a sexy number there. All right, it is a lot of volume, but look at the disparity. Disparity is just basically what who is shorting, who is longing. So it's a deficit or the pro habit. All right, right here we have just a very low deficit, which means everybody's buying in the same zone, which means it is a good support. Is it gonna hold? Hopefully, but that gives me again another area to think that I could be longing this zone. All right, so let's also go over to you guys, because I see that there's new members joining here. Love it, love it. So we have Drew. What's up, Drew? Welcome, my friend. We also have John Frost Crypto. What is up, John Froster Crypto? Welcome. To Dub, how is it going, to Dub? Welcome. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your time here with me. Really appreciate it. We also have Drew. Double shout out to Drew. Who else we got in here? We have Wayne C. Wifey. What's up, Wayne C. Wifey? Welcome. WCW. Welcome. Great to have you here. Kelly, what's up? What's up, Caliphant? Great to have you here. How is it going? Hey, WWF. Just chilling. Love it, love it. All right, so welcome, guys. Really glad that you guys are here. Really appreciate it a lot. All right, so far we are in a big area of support, right? Simple. So after all of that, we're in a trustworthy area of support. Is that gonna hold? Hopefully it does. All right, and then right after we have a big disparity. For some reason, all right, when we get to these big disparity zones, we can expect the price to stop for a second right here. To stop for a second, all right, to stop the fall or to stop the rise. And then look back at who's going to be winning, because a big disparity means a lot of people aiming in different zones. All right, so I don't know, maybe 1,000 people longing, another 1,000 people shorting, and another 1,000 people longing and shorting. So people just don't get together at the same direction. Right, so this is a ranging zone that still need a definition of where is it going to be breaking to. All right, so a very powerful tool here that we got, which means that right down here, let's go for it, we have a big area of support. All right, both the smart money area, right, and the next smart money area, both acting as support. So let's just bring this up once again and let's see through it. Let's try to ignore that for a second, and we're gonna be finding out, there it is, that we have another predictive range. Remember that we already have another set of predictive ranges and support and resistances here combined, all right, with different tools. So right here we have another support and resistance, so let's just leave it as is. All right, so let's turn that off, and then, well, the big guns, we need to take out the big guns in here. The big guns in here are our order blocks. All right, these order blocks, look at where we are. Yes, it's true that right now we're tapping on that soft order block. And something important about that soft order block, it is that it is almost 50-50. All right, what does that mean? All right, what is it telling me that is 50-50? The 50-50 means that there's almost equal amounts of longs, that there's equal amounts of shorts, which is not good. What is it not good? Because they're going to be canceling each other. And who's going to be winning? So far, the bulls, unless we start seeing people checking out. And why are we going to be seeing people checking out? Maybe they're over leveraged and a little movement just get them liquidated, right? Maybe after seeing how big of a drop there it's happening, maybe they can decide not to cancel their bullish positions. All right, so if we start seeing that migration of longs out, well, then we're going to be seeing a turning back into a bearish zone. Despite that, look at this high order block all the way where it was our volume profile. If we zoom out back enough, all right, our VRVP, oh, come on, was not that one. This one right there. All right, where we have our VRVP, and let's turn this one, of course. Next, smart money entry. You see that? Right here. All right, so we're still on big support. Let's go for the next tool that we have here, our trend channel. Trend, it's a big trend in here. We're in the middle of the trend going for a support zone. The trend is not telling us anything other than, well, at some point we need to bounce up to hit the trend line. Talking about trend lines, how is that looking? Our trend line's looking fairly good, all right, but we haven't had our third, and let's just say last, quote unquote, rejection, which makes sense to have a rejection right now. And that is because, remember what I always drill to your brain, guys, it is not about the breakout, it's about the retest. So where is our breakout? Well, our breakout is right here. Breakout, first retest, and then off we go. So fairly enough, we already have had a retest. Is it a retest that I like to see? Not really, but technically we had, right? But having a multi-candle retest would make much more sense to me, both to stretch far back to the right enough to hit not only dynamic reactor, but also to hit our trend line right down here. All right, so having said that, I think this is a good area to look for a bounce, and then, well, a good area for that support zone will be, again, on the same area that we have seen that big support play over and over and over. We still need to be aware of these kind of movements. All right, so far I'm gonna stick with the 1 quarter. All right, so let me just get rid of this because this one was a support right down there. Let's also, we're gonna be keeping that box, by the way. Let's lock it. Let's also lock this box in here. Let's, of course, lock, oh, it's already locked. Let's lock this other box right down there. Perfect. Let me just get rid of a couple of stuff in here that did bother me a little bit. And so we can freely move around. And why cannot? There it is. All right, perfect. All right. So are we good enough for that long? We're still missing our oscillator. So let's go one by one. Do we have some tiny candles here? Not really. Not just yet. I mean, not like here, right? Certainly not like there. So our entry is not there yet. Not quite there yet. And that it once again leads me to believe that we might be having that sweep of those lows. But am I in big support? Absolutely. I mean, that is no questions, big support. Let's see and let's take a look at other setup here. Of course, let's go for our linear regression oscillator and let's see how the strength is going, right? So we are below the zero line in here. All right, let's just move this out right here. We are below that zero line, but we're pointing up, which means we're increasing on strength, but quote unquote, we don't have enough strength so far. Can we reach it? Yes, we can reach it, but that will be a little bit of an issue. So, and look at that. So we haven't had peak performance or rounded bottom in there. So I think we need to give it a little bit more time. In fact, what I'm going to be going for, it is adding another set of alerts. So I'm going to be going for this alert and then another alert in here. And I'm going to be calling out a couple of entry points in here. All right. So our first entry point will be this one. So possible entry at 1/4. All right. And of course, I need to fix. Come on, what is it not? All right, perfect. Let's just copy it. And then let's go for the next one here. Once again, oh, not that one. This one right here. Possible re-entry. Here is possible re-entry at 1/4 at this area. So we're going to be a little bit patient here, but let's just mark them. There we go for a possible long. We still don't have an entry, and my stop loss should be all the way down there, aiming for, well, somewhere around here. That will depend, because if we're able to grab that middle area, our breaking even could be barely in here in this area. All right, so far so good. We're gonna be waiting for that either peak performance or flip of that bottom in there. Let's just give it a measure right here on our Prime Oscillator Pro. And I want to do one more thing, because I think that we could also have a goose gate. Hopefully we don't, because if we do have a goose gate, I'm gonna be calling out the first possible entry. All right, so let's go for old shape. Let's turn that on. And let's just give it a little second. All right, so no goose hit. So far, our first entry is still valid. All right, so Drew says, oh, see, have you tried using the orb strat with VWAP reset daily? The same one that Alex O's uses? Not really. I like the order block setup with the VWAP. I don't like the VWAP myself. It's not that I don't like it, to be honest. I just haven't used it, and when I used it in the past, I quickly move out of it. And I move out of it using the SMA combo. So for me, it's just not something that adapts the way that I read the charts. But I mean, I see how Alex or Crypto uses it every single day, and it's a fantastic strategy. Although remember that the orb strategy with the VWAP, it is based on the first 15 minutes based on the New York Open candle. All right, so in my 4-hour time frame, looking at a 15 minutes boundary, it's a little constraining. If we're talking about the same strategy, like, let me know, because I really don't picture much of a use the actual orb, other than going, for example, into the 5 minutes and doing scalping with the orb. I can surely do the 4-hour first candle for an I don't know, upgraded orb, but not sure how would that work. But let me know, my friend. Let me know. I'll be able to try it. I mean, if you tell me how to, I'll be more than happy to give it a try and give it a go. I mean, we could be onto something in here. All right, so but it resets every day. Yeah, but it resets what, the 15 minutes? But I traded 4 hours. Unless we are doing the first 4 hour candle per day, that would make sense, but not sure. So same concept. Yeah, I understand that there is a same concept, but I'm not 100% understanding how would I be placing my VWAP. Like, for example, all right, no VWAP, sorry, my open and close. Let's just go for example, for example, all right, let's just say that in here we have the New York open and close like this on the 15 minutes, right? But I'm looking at the 4 hours, so the first 15 minutes I'm not able to see it, right? Unless I go to the 15 minutes. So what's going to happen? Am I going to be going for, instead of the 15 minutes open and close of the 4 hour? Like, I mean, honest question, right? So I'm just scaling up the concept. So maybe at the same time that opens on the 4 hour, and then when the candle off the 4 hour closes, and that will keep, I mean, that will give me an orb, right? Open and close range bound. So that will give me an open and close range bound, and I could be going for breakout retest of the orb. But not sure if that is what you mean. Copy 15 minutes time frame, 10 high and low. Oh yeah, absolutely. But that's what I mentioned. I don't trade the 15 minutes really, other than I traded on the on the gaming shows. I tried to trade the 5 minutes to have an open and short. If you take a look at it in this class, I usually traded 30 minutes. I mean, 30 minutes is still valid, the 15-minute open range bound, right? So I could, but other than I did when I'm the most profitable, and I don't know if you see the issue there, right? I mean, when I'm the most profitable I'm in the 4 hours. That's why I tend to orbit to the 4 hours. Then for fun, I do the 15 minutes, 5 minutes, so on and so forth. I apply the same stuff, but I tend to get more stopped outs. So if I want to make money, serious money, right? Just looking at the charts, I just have a way better hit rate. I mean, way better profit rate on the 4 hours. So unless I'm switching that, based on the comment that I'm seeing, I'm not sure if I would be able to adopt the strategy. But to answer your question, I could be doing that. You say yes, sir. So I think that we're talking about scaling into the 4 hour. Let me give it a try. Let me try it this week, and let me give you my opinion on it. No, but I mean, absolutely. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to debate, like, not debate, but, like, trying to understand, like, are you asking me to change a time frame? I could absolutely, but don't expect me to stay there, right? So that is the thing. Or, and this is what I believe the genius thing might be playing out, and I think this is what you meant at the first point, the first instance. Not sure though. That I scale up my range bound open and close to starting New York time in first candle 4 hours and closing that first candle 4 hour. That will be giving me a 4 hour orb thing. I mean, I also love it, man. I also love it. That's why I kind of don't let it go, right? Because I'm interested in listening to you. But yeah, I think JR does a lot of orbing. JR does a lot of orbing and scalping. So that means I can ask JR. That would be fantastic. Absolutely. All right, let's try that. Let's try that. I think we might be onto something. Let me try throughout this week an orb, 4 hour orb, right? Not only that, I'm gonna be going tomorrow with a class with with Alex of Crypto, and I'm gonna ask him about his opinion. I'm gonna present the idea, and I'll see what he says and what he thinks of. Right? Maybe he can point out some weak spots and some strength spots. Right? Which we're gonna be trying to sort around, because, like, for example, maybe that he uses a lot of the orb strategy. Maybe he might be suggesting something like, instead of the VWAP, use VWAP in your estimate combo, or just use your estimate combo, or use a dynamic reactor, or go for something like the, I don't know, MACD, or I have no idea, right? But that's why I might be able to, to get together with him, and maybe also get in touch with JR. Hey, username, how's it going, my friend? Absolutely, bro. Best friends forever. Love it, my friend. By the way, shout out to username. He's connecting with me on Fridays to play some Halo and also to trade live. So, guys, if you want to watch us play and trade at the same time, well, you can follow along the trades. I don't promise good trades. I don't promise good game, but I promise a lot of yelling and a lot of laughs. So, Friday right after the show, all right? But yeah, let's move on. Train Tuition said, I love traders explaining thoughts process. Oh, I love it, man. Thank you. I love when traders explain why they use certain techniques. Love when the traders debate these cues, why they do what they do. Absolutely. And I mean, that is also part of learning, right? Because you might be very good at something, right? Why I would not be that good at something. And then it has to do on how we grow, right? So throughout childhood and everything else, right? We build our brain on different layers of trust and knowledge. And that reflects on how you look at the charts. And also that reflects on which tools will guide you through those charts. So pretty interesting. And by listening at even just how people look at the charts, you can actually deduct if they're good at taking risk, managing risk, acting upon last minute action, a lot of stuff, a lot of psychological stuff. Not really into it, but I love it. Yes, I love it. And also gives you a broader perspective on what to use and how to use it. I love it. Trader Joe in the house. All right. So let's go here and let's take a look at a couple of other stuff. Like, let's go to Ina. Ina, well, you got it. You see it. This is the stopped out that we got. Now we have the bounce up. So not counting that. I mean, I'm not going to be taking that bounce just now. We are below the zero line. Perfect. Most likely we are going to continue downwards. But there's another slight possibility here. Let me just get rid of mostly everything here for a second. All right, let me for now just look at this retracement. All right, where's our, oh no, that's not a retracement. I thought that was a fib retracement. All right, let's add a fib retracement. I like to go for how far down we can go. Right, that's going to be our first analysis, because we have not much to speculate if this is going to be the point of support. Other than if we do something like this, then I'm going to come back to this area. All right. But so far, till now, we haven't. So let's just calculate how far back can we go. And I'm going to be grabbing this pivot in here because it's the closest meaningful pivot. So, known zone, known area right here, and to this area right here. And then I pull it to the right. Golden pocket. Love it. All right, golden pocket bounce. Right here, I could be expecting a 0.5 bounce or a platinum pocket reach out. All right, let's use this information along with other stuff. Like, for example, let's lock this, let's hide it. Let's now start bringing on the rest of our indicators. Let's take a look at our SMA combo. It's been long since we don't use it. Here we can see that we are below our SMA combo. I just don't see this one catching up to it just now. So remember that when we're seeing that one catching up to it or coming back down, well, then we're going downwards. All right. So are we going downwards right now, or this is just a little bit of a retracement? So far, a little bit of a retracement so far. All right. Remember, the only weakness of our SMA combo is, and don't tell me that this needs to update, but whatever. The only weakness of our SMA combo, it is the latency in which our where is it, 110 reacts, right? So it needs 110 candles to start closing an average. All right. So as we have that 110 candles, it takes longer and slower to move. So far, so good. We're understanding that. Let's go and check out the rest of our indicators. Well, for example, engulfing candle. So we have an engulfing candle. Yes, we have an engulfing candle. Still nothing like I would like to see right here. Something like that, all right? So not huge candles. Still, we have an engulfing candle. Are we on support? Yes, we are on support. Our next area of support, it is right here with a box right there. All right, so let's mark it. Why not? Let's go for the next one. Predictive ranges. We are breaking this one. We have another predictive range in here, and I think we're starting to see a pattern in here, right? Where we're having that accumulation of stuff. Look at that. We have our VRVP, another predictive range on the 12 hours. We have the money flow POC, and well, a small. There we go. A small but bullish soft order block, right? So things that I'm saying, I see another order blocking here. Let's drive or a trend line through this area. So, and let's see our oscillator. So far, almost exactly the same thing that we're seeing on Solana. Right? We're seeing a possible reversal. We're having a bullish divergence. The thing is not flipping. It's just ranging down below there. So I need to see it move, and I need to see the money flow start pushing up to it. So far, if we see a retracement, I don't think that we're going to get all the way here unless we start seeing the money flow kicking back above that zero line, in which case I'm going to be going for a short. In fact, I'm going to be updating my alert right now because remember that order block has moved out of its place. And that is normal to see as people start regretting their position or adjusting their old positions, right? So with new candles, new movements, new patterns, we have reallocation of money. So far, so good. I want to also right-click in here, add an alert to that trend line, and of course, lock that trend line so it doesn't move all around this place. I'm also going to get rid of this one, yes, and get rid of also this parabolic explanation thing. All right, so let's just, yeah, get rid of it. Perfect. Now let's turn basically everything off. And what we're seeing is a very strong area of support all the way down here. So aiming at the 50% of that box makes sense. All right. So we are also looking at the very top of that, looking or expecting for that. Let me right click to this, lock it, expecting to this order block to play it out, but we're already into it. So you either jumping right now for long, which I don't know if I'm going to be doing. I mean, Solana is just good enough for that long, and we are still waiting. There's so many here. And maybe something that we haven't used so far, it's our FIVP and our liquidations channel. So what is it faster to have some liquidations down below or some liquidations up? I would say liquidations to the downside. Look at that. We're very close to liquidate those guys, right? So it would make sense to go a little bit lower. We still need to wait. At this point, I just don't have a clean and clear entry. Other than that, are we on a big support area? Yes, we are on a big support area, right? So, but you know what? I think I'm not going to be calling out for it long right now. I'm going to be waiting for the price action to come back down. I will be quick to change my opinion depending on what happens with my oscillators right here. Right? So you already have that explanation. Let's also read you guys. I once met Ossie when he lived here in Michigan. Dude, what? Yes, I lived in Michigan. Are you serious, bro? I mean, do we know each other? I don't know. I was the middle of winter in downtown Detroit. The arcade. Oh, got it. Dude, you were kicking some facts in there, man. For some time, I thought I missed a big chunk of the story, and I thought that we actually knew each other. All right, I had a couple of names in my head. But that'll be fantastic, brother. That'll be fantastic. He lost big time. We'll see. We can play Mortal Kombat, by the way. So if you like Mortal Kombat, remember there is Mortal Kombat in the cloud. So maybe we can go for that Mortal Kombat. But yeah. I'm bad at gaming law, but I'm thinking about giving it a try. Just so you know, my wife, she's fantastic in Mortal Kombat, and she doesn't know how to play it. But she is fantastic. I mean, it's like she does some combos, like, and I get so frustrated because I do study the freaking combos, and she still kicks my ass. So yeah, Kelly, give it a try. I think you're gonna enjoy it. So next week we're gonna be doing Mortal Kombat. I think that would be a good one. Username. So be prepared, man. I'm going to start practicing Mortal Kombat. I'm going to download it. Also, my wife is right next to me, so we need to download Mortal Kombat 11 or Mortal Kombat X. I don't know. I'll have to see. All right, let's move on to the next altcoins because we've been explaining a lot, right? We're going in depth. So, all right, in INA, Ton has been playing on fantastically still. Remember, we have an open order right here coming back down. We did went for an entry here. We're still on that one, all right? Important, that time is just ticking out, all right? Here is the thing with this. I gave it a try here. And look at that. We have our flip of the ribbon. We have, and I front run this, big mistake, all right? But still, that is the entry. The point is that the thing should be bouncing up, and I just don't see it. Remember, that same happened to us on INA. Yeah, I think on INA. So we were looking at INA breakout. It broke. Remember that? It broke. It was not doing anything. Was that in that area? I think so. And then it moved down, right? So it played out last minute. Another one that I want to go over, it is LDO. Have we talked about LDO? Let's take a look at it. Perfect. All right, LDO. We should be in, but the same thing is happening here. All right, let me move LDO. Let me put it in red, or yeah, in red. And let's move it into the important coins in here. Let's put it next to INA. Where's INA? Seems like I haven't done this anymore. Anything else? All right, so let's also save this. Perfect. And well, in the meantime, we are supposed to be on a trade right here. This is, of course, is not a profitable trade so far, but it's happening the same thing. And we have the support, 1 quarter of an entry. We have another quarter right here on the dynamic reactor, but the clock is ticking. We are supposed to be going up, yes, below the dynamic, below the 0 line, just like in here. All right, and what happened here, let's mark it with vertical lines in here. Since this area to this area, it barely moved out, but it moved up right here. All right, let me just get rid of those old lines right here. From this line to this line, it is moving up the oscillator, but the price is not. So what are we expecting if, when the thing is supposed to be going up, when we have an oscillator drop, what do you think that is going to happen here? Right, I got it very clear. So is this thing getting closer to that 0 line and we're just not in profit? I'm calling out the trade. All right, so be prepared to be calling out this trade if you took it, because I mean, we've barely been in profits. So another thing that you could be doing is just reducing it as we go up. So bear in mind that in a few minutes, like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, we should be in profits again. reduce your trade 50% out. All right. This is not financial advice, but that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. Reducing that quarter into a 50% because these trades so far is not reacting. So, I mean, who wants to stay in a stinking boat? Not me. Not me. Yes, we are on the dynamic reactor, but we know dynamic reactor have eventually failed on us like this, right? So this is, look at that. When it started going up in here, going up, and then failed it. It had a flip of the ribbon. And that flip of the ribbon did not happen at a zero line. It actually happened earlier. So that's why we have our stop loss and secondary entry. Just in case we actually go to that dynamic reactor, we can average down and half of it. Half of it, and then on the bounce, close our trade 50%, move our stop to entry, and then trail it as we go. But so far, that have not yet happened. All right, so still be careful with LDO. LDO might be a forced close entry, so have it on your radar. All right, let's go over. I want to go over a crypto bubble stuff in here really quickly. Everything it's dumping. Pump fun, not much of a pump, not much of a pump either, right? So pump fun, not much of a fun, not much of a pump either. It's just like a pirate boat, just without pirates and without boat, but exactly the same thing, right? All right. The other thing that is actually Greece MMT, really weird. But we need to be patient here. Be aware of the possible bounces tonight. All right. Keep your eyes on a couple of altcoins. I would say, like, you know what? Let's watch Ethereum. Let's go watch ADA. Let's go watch Aero. Really quickly, let's go and watch, for example, Aerodrome. So Aerodrome was one of those coins that I was looking into. Where's Aerodrome? Here it is. And I have a couple of possible entries here. We haven't reached them. I mean, the first one we just went through butter, like hot knife through butter. So nothing to do there. Here we had a bearish divergence. We were talking about that. It played out that breakout retest continuation downwards, but now we're getting very close to our entry section. Right here. In fact, I don't see an alert. Let's go for that alert. So I'm gonna be looking for maybe a fast coming back down, like something like this. All right, and that is because most likely we could be having, or we have a trend line here to be respected. So that will be for Aerodrome right now. Keep your eyes on a couple of other stuff, right? For example, grass. I don't really like grass that much, but grass is looking good, fairly good. In 4 hours, we're having this like that, and look at this pivot here, which is creating a and let me just give it a little spacing here. It's creating a symmetrical triangle. Symmetrical triangles are 50-50 breakouts, but I don't really care about the 50-50. What I care about it is the support and resistance, and then looking at my oscillator. So what I'm going to be doing is adding alert at the top and alert at the bottom. All right. So when I started hitting those tops and bottoms, I'm going to be looking at my oscillator. And so far, oh man, look at that. Let's go to all shape. I think we got a goose hit. And yes, bingo. There we go. Like Trade Joe would say, bingo bango. Here we go. All right, so bingo bango, we have a possible goose hit here. It's not on the zone that I would like to play it out, but a goose hit at this point, with the bearish of a trade, I mean bearish of market, I'll take it. I'll take it any day. What is that goose head means? A little retracement, you already have it, for a further continuation, and then a big retracement. But we will be getting out of the trend line into dynamic reactor. Most likely breakout retest, and then continuation. Higher low. Finally taking higher highs, lower high, and then off we go. If you miss that, don't worry. This is your next entry right down here, all right? In case we are able to take it. All right, guys. So far we have explained a lot of stuff in here. Bingo bango, absolutely. So anyway, guys, go check out Trade Intuition. Fantastic how he explains his trades. He's always a very detailed. I love how simple he explains stuff. And of course, guys, we're gonna be, remember, Friday. If you don't have an Xbox, don't worry. You can get a 1 month membership of Xbox Ultimate, right? That's what we're using. Xbox Ultimate. Xbox, not a sponsor. You know what to do, Xbox. And get Mortal Kombat. We're gonna be doing Mortal Kombat this week, right? Because we suck at Halo. I mean, that's the truth. I mean, all said was carrying us, all of us, like, for real. We defend ourselves, but man, we sucked. It wasn't a lot of fun. So we're gonna be trying just beating each other asses and Mortal Kombat. We'll see how we do it, and I'll see you there. Username. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining, and as always, see you guys tomorrow. See you guys. Have a great night.